last time we spoke was a week ago, the day after the Knicks beat the Raptors. Since then, unfortunately, I did get sick, and the Knicks lost 3 straight games, so there hasn't been much to say. The officiating has been absolutely brutal. I mean, Brunson getting fouled, of course, on that layup against the Thunder. If that's called and he makes the free throw, of course, the Knicks go into overtime. The game against the Spurs, there was a jump ball violation, not to mention Brunson was hit a couple of times, and then the game against Miami, we're just undermanned against a team that is playing high-level basketball. We can make excuses all day long. Trust me, man. I watched all 3 of these games. They were disappointing. But at the end of the day, the Knicks were without 2 starters. Julius Randle is not going to play the rest of the season. OG Anunoby is expected to be good for the playoffs. The Knicks are saying that they're not too concerned with him coming back in the regular season as long as he comes back in the playoffs. And that's truth, because think about it this way. The seeding really matter. I understand that the Knicks playing Boston in the second round isn't ideal, but somebody has to beat Boston, and we saw the Heat beat Boston last year. Didn't they win 60 games? Like, did they not? So the seeding just doesn't matter. What matters is being healthy and, of course, playing your highest level of basketball. And we've seen the Knicks this season play high level basketball. They lost just 2 games in January. They went 9-5 last month in March. And now, of course, they're splitting it 1-2, of course, coming off of a loss against the Heat and then beating the Kings at home tonight. I love where the Knicks are at. They are just finding ways to get it done. I mean, the Knicks were awful to start this game. Imagine losing 3 straight and then getting outscored 35-20 in the first quarter. I mean, to that point, I was thinking, man, like, what is going to happen in this game? The Knicks they don't look good. And then the second quarter, the Knicks win that. The third quarter, the Knicks win that. And then the fourth quarter, the Knicks dominate that. 3 strong quarters for the Knicks on both sides of the floor. They end up scoring 120 points. They hold the Kings to 109, one of the best scoring teams the past 2 years, really in NBA history. The reason why the Knicks were able to do it is because they played through their superstar, Jalen Brunson, who had 35, 12 of 20, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. That's been the thing for Brunson, is when he gets to the free throw line, he does make them. He also had 11 assists and 3 steals. I mean, this was about as good as you'll see Brunson the entire season. Of course, he's had some record-breaking performances. He just scored 61 against the Spurs. We know he had 50 points against the Suns. I mean, Brunson's incredible, but tonight he literally just took over this game and put the team on his back. But it wasn't just Brunson, obviously. Dante DiVincenzo had 21 points. Josh Hart had 21 points. Not to mention that you're getting 5 boards from Devo. You're getting 9 boards from Hart. 8 assists. Isaiah Hartenstein had 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and 7 points. He did a great job on Domantas Sabonis, who was quiet in this game. He finished with 17 and 11. I mean, cool. His double-double streak continues. It's like 56 or something. And Sabonis is a very good player. But if you were to tell me that Sabonis would have just 17, 7, and 11, I would have taken that any single day of the week. Not that that's not good. That's incredible. But Sabonis, he just didn't control this game. He didn't dominate us like he could have. De'Aaron Fox, on the other hand, was an issue. He had 29 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. I mean, Fox was just all over the place. But in the second half, he just wasn't as much of a factor as he was in the first half. And Fox, of course, did take 26 shots. So, again, I'll take that. Those are great numbers, but 29 points on 26 shots is not the most efficient. And then Brunson, for example, had 35 and 20 shots. And I get he went to the line 10 times, but Brunson was just consistently attacking, and the Kings had to foul him. They just had no answer, simply. Bogdanovic had 12 points in 12 minutes, 5 of 7. He was great in this game. Mitchell Robinson, I thought, looked good. Had 7 rebounds in 15 minutes. You can tell that his, of course, not going to say his stamina, but he doesn't look like the Mitchell Robinson that we saw in the playoffs, of course, against Cleveland specifically, but he is coming off of an injury, and he's going to have to ease into it. But that's the beauty of the end of the regular season, is Mitch has at least, 4 games left, I think, the next half. I think we have 4 more games left. So, actually, no, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we do have 6 more games left, so it's only going to help Mitch get better. And Precious Achiuwa just looked flat out bad in this game, and I saw Knicks fans were tweeting about it, and I was thinking the same thing. I mean, Precious, there was just no reason for him to be in this game. He played in 9 minutes and was a -17. Matchups are everything for the Knicks. There's going to be matchups where I actually prefer Precious over Hartenstein and Mitch. This certainly was not one of them. And outside of that, I mean, Burks played 9 minutes and was a +9. He took just 1 shot. And then the rest, like Sims and one of our guys on a 2-way came in the last minute of the game. So really the bench wasn't anything crazy outside of Mitch and Bogdanovic. But we know that to this point, with the Knicks being so derailed with injuries, the starting lineup is going to play significant minutes, and that's not going to change. I mean, McBride Hart, DiVincenzo, Brunson, these guys are all going to play 40 minutes a night just about. When OG comes back, of course, that will go down a little bit, but at the same time, I do expect our starting lineup to be Brunson, DiVincenzo, I would say Hart. I don't know. Are we going to do Hart and OG? I don't think we're going to do that. But are we also going to do 3 guards and OG? I don't know. I'm sitting here acting like I know what the rotation is going to be. You guys, Knicks fans, let me know down below, because that's actually a really good question, is when OG comes back, who moves to the bench? Because with Randall, yeah, to me, it would be, okay, let's just end up putting Josh Hart back to the bench and just running 3 guards with Randall and Hartenstein. That would actually be pretty cool. But with OG, I don't know. I mean, OG McBride, that level of defense next to Brunson would be extremely deadly and dangerous, not to mention they both can knock down the 3 ball at a high clip. I mean, that's why I'm excited for OG to come back. I know this is going to be extremely controversial and a lot of Knicks fans are going to disagree with me, but I honestly, when I saw Randall was out for the season, obviously I was bummed out. Having a healthy Julius Randle in your playoff rotation certainly doesn't make you a worse basketball team, but it's also the ball movement is going to be a lot better in the playoffs. And we don't have to worry about which Randall shows up, because Randall is not a good playoff performer. I get he was hurt last year, and then, of course, against the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm not going to hold that against him for the rest of his life, but it's just Randall at his best is unstoppable, but when he's not, when Randall's not scoring, basically, everything else just goes out of the window. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't defend. But when Randall's hitting shots, he becomes all of a sudden one of the top players in the NBA. So if that Randall were to show up each and every night, the Knicks could win the championship, and I think they would win the championship. But if he doesn't, to that point, he's a major liability. So I don't know. Honestly, we'll wait and see what happens. Can the Knicks win the championship without Randall? Probably not. Can the Knicks win the East? Can the Knicks become the biggest threat to Boston? I truly do think so. I mean, this Knicks team without OG Anunoby has been competitive. I mean, Spurs went in overtime. The Heat game was down to the wire. And then the Thunder game literally came down to Shea hitting a game-winning shot, essentially. Brunson missed the go-ahead one at the buzzer. So when you add in OG, who's one of the best defenders, who could switch everything, could knock down threes, gives us another 15, I mean, that's just something that you can't replace. You simply can't replace that. Like, we've seen guys like Hartenstein and Hart step in, but you can't replace OG. In terms of, like, the Magic and the Cavs, I mean, we're just half a game out of the 3 seed, and we're actually tied right now with Orlando for that 4 seed, but they have the tiebreaker, apparently. So, yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with the Knicks. I mean, the 3-game losing streak hurt, especially when you're right there. I mean, it was devastating, but I'm not too worried about the Knicks. I'm really not. I love our odds of the first round, no matter who we play. In terms of the second round, whether it be Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, I mean, I don't really know. I think that the Knicks are just as good as the Bucks and the Cavs. In terms of the Celtics, that's going to be the one team that is going to give anyone a fit. But at least OG is expected to be good for the playoffs, so the Knicks are going to have their best defender out there. Remember, when OG played, the Knicks went like 16-2. With him, of course, in the lineup, and they were the best defensive team. So we know the Knicks don't have an issue scoring. They've got Jalen Brunson, who's 4th in the league, and they've got DiVincenzo, and they've got McBride's been stepping up, giving us about 20 a game as the starter, of course, the past 10 games, and Bogdanovic can score. Like, scoring isn't an issue for the Knicks. It's just defensively, what can we get out of this team? And when the Knicks are locked in and focused defensively, they're an incredible team. They're one of the best to do it. And we saw against the Kings, for example, tonight. I mean, the Kings are about as good as it gets scoring, and the Knicks were able to just hold them down. I mean, I was extremely impressed, guys. I mean, not that the Kings were inefficient. I mean, they shot 49% and, you know, an absurd 43% from 3. But it's down the stretch. The Knicks held the Kings to 22 points in the 4th, 27 in the 3rd. When you do that, you're going to have a great chance, especially when Jalen Brunson's cooking. So, but that's all I got for you guys. Appreciate you for the love, man. As always, your boy Knicks Daily. Smash the like button for me for fighting through this, guys. It's been a week. Peace.